Hello and welcome to the Experiencing Love podcast. I'm your host, Philip Jacques, and I'm so glad that you're here. What comes to mind when I say the line, raise your standards? What comes to mind when I ask this line, raise your standards? What does it mean for you at this stage in your life? What does it mean at this point in time? Hearing raise your standards, do you think about maybe the relationships in your life? Do you think about how others treat you? Do you think about maybe how you treat yourself? Whatever comes to mind when you hear that line, take it as a sign that it's time to raise your standards. I've recently been saying that line to myself over and over again as a reminder that the level that I want to achieve in my life, the life that I want to experience, is at a level of standards that I'm not at yet. It's at a place and a time and a mindset that, as of right now, is just out of reach. And I know that because I don't have it. In that same notion, it's something that's just out of my comfort zone because I have everything that's in my comfort zone now. Everything else that I want for myself is outside of my comfort zone. It's outside of my bubble. The line, raise your standards, or when I say I need to raise my standards, it's a reminder that I can reach higher. I can raise the quality of my life. The point of raising my standards also has to do with not falling back, not slipping back into the quality of life that I have now. That especially refers to habits and mindset. Sometimes the quality of our life can be described as a thermostat. I've heard this description before, where you have a home, you have a temperature that is comfortable for you. And when something in your life happens that nudges you away from that comfort zone, that comfort temperature, you will do everything you can in your power to get back to that level. That means when life gets challenging and life gets hard and it's a lot colder than it normally is, you will do what you have to in order to build yourself back up to the quality of life that you're used to. That's pretty normal. I feel like many people have experienced that one. And there's also the opposite side that just as many people experience, which is when life gets too good, when the temperature gets really warm, when you're at a higher level than you're used to, it could be jarring, it could be unexpected, and our bodies and our minds might subconsciously want us to go back to a temperature that we're used to. So maybe you've experienced something like self-sabotage, where everything's going well in your life and all of a sudden you start doing an old habit that you've thought you've changed, and it's bringing you back into patterns that aren't serving you anymore. Or maybe the temperature of your life is getting too warm and you start hanging out or spending time with people that don't serve you anymore. This can all show up in many different ways. Most regularly for me, it shows up in the form of habits. I can decide that a habit doesn't serve me anymore, and then next thing you know, when I'm feeling a little bit out of ease, out of my comfort, I find myself returning to those habits. Like subconsciously, it knows that that's safe, that that's comfortable, that that's what I'm used to. Logically, my mind says, don't do it. It's not right. You know you don't do those things anymore. For example, it could be certain eating routines, eating habits. I try not to eat right before bed, or I try not to eat huge meals anymore. Maybe even my language just saying try is part of the reason that I return to those types of habits, because I could eat well for weeks and even months at a time. And then when things are going really well and I'm feeling full of energy and my body's looking amazing and my mind is clear, something happens. Some hiccup happens. And I think, you know what? Having this one snack before bed won't hurt. Or you know what? Having that extra serving of mashed potatoes won't kill me. But what that does is it opens up the door to do it again. And then I do it again and again and again until it just becomes my new normal. And I find myself looking around saying, how did I get here? What the heck happened? So I went on that whole tangent because today I asked myself the question again, how can I experience even more of God's love right now? And I was reminded of certain habits that I'm clearing out of my system. And this time, I'm deciding not to just get rid of the habit or replace the habit. I'm looking at raising the standard of my life and making it a part of my identity, a part of who I am, to say that I don't do those things anymore. Part of who I am is I exercise all the time. I eat healthy. I eat clean, balanced meals. I get more than 7-8 hours of sleep every night. I read every day. I journal every day. I'm training my mind every day. That's the habit and the mindset that I'm setting now, that at this next level, I can't afford to not do these things. And there's a next level for you that you already know about. You know what's at the next level for you. Maybe on a similar note, it has to do with your health. Maybe it has to do with the people you're surrounded by. Maybe it has to do with work conditions or the output that you put in your life. Maybe it has to do with just your mindset on a day-to-day basis. Like, how do you think? Are you noticing things that you're missing, or are you noticing the abundance in your life? Are you noticing everything going wrong, or are you noticing everything going right? The next level is already defined for you. And as I've mentioned before, it's something that's right outside of your reach, something that's just very slightly uncomfortable to do every day. It's something that might be easy to do one day at a time, but the idea of making it a permanent part of who you are might seem a little bit daunting. You might be thinking that, how can I go my whole life without doing X? And that could be a challenging way to think about it, because that does make it daunting. It does make it overwhelming. But what I found that makes it much easier to handle and to embrace is make it a part of who you are, rather than looking at it as just another habit or a task or whatever it is. You have to decide and reinforce every single day that you are the type of person that does X. You are the type of person that wakes up every day before your alarm. You are the type of person that doesn't scroll on their phone before going to bed. You are the type of person that reaches out to their family and their friends on a daily or weekly basis to make sure that everybody is safe and taken care of. You are the type of person that looks after your own mental health. You're the type of person that values growing and learning and will always have a book ready nearby for you to read. When you make it a part of who you are, your mind will automatically adjust and find the things that align with your identity. Everything you have now is in your life because you've made it a part of who you are. So I guess the choice is today, if you know that you need to raise your standards to reach the next level of your life, then the question is, who do you need to be? Who do you need to become? How do you need to act? How do you need to behave? Who's the type of person that gets to experience the next level? And not just that, it's also important to identify how that person feels, all the good emotions that that person feels. Because if you just decide who you need to be, but you don't know why you want to be that way, you don't emotionally understand why that next level is important to you, then it's likely that everything you say and think is going to fall on deaf ears, your own deaf ears. You're not going to let it stick, because what you need to do is convince yourself that the emotions that you're going to feel at the next level are going to feel better than what it feels now to be comfortable. There are many emotions that are more enjoyable to feel than just plain comfort, but you have to make it so enticing that it's worth being uncomfortable for a little bit to get to that next level. Honestly, most of what I'm saying here today is a reminder for myself later. I'm gonna need to re-listen to this podcast episode later when I'm at that point in my life that I'm ready for the next level and that I need to raise my standards. So whoever it is that's listening to this right now, I want you to raise your standards. I want more for you than you can ever know. I want you to experience everything there is to experience in this life. The world is rich. The world is so full. There's so much to see, and there's so much to do, and there's so many people to meet. And so many of those things are just 2 millimeters outside of your comfort zone. They're right there. And the thing about expanding that comfort zone is you don't get to just step out there for a couple seconds and then go back. That's just tricking yourself. To really expand your comfort zone, you have to embrace that next level. Take it in. Enjoy it. Know that every single stage of your life has been you getting to a new level. Getting to a new level is not a new thing for you. You've done it so many times before. When you're a baby and you're just learning to walk, that's getting to a new level. the first time you went to school, or maybe when you learned to ride a bike, or you learned to drive a car, maybe it was your first relationship. Each of those was the sign, it was the start of a new level. You've hit so many new levels before, and all I'm asking you to do is to choose the next level again. We are meant to reach the next level of our lives. If we don't make that choice, the universe will make the choice for us. And usually that's more uncomfortable than when we choose to. So all I'm saying is make it your choice. Go for the next level. And I'm not talking about once a year like a New Year's resolution kind of thing. You could do it sooner than that. You could decide every single month what is one little change. Like when I mean little, I really mean like that 2 millimeter shift that you can do right now and every day for that month to work towards the next level. The next level really is 2 millimeters away. It's not some massive change. It's right there. So make that change. Make that step. Listen to your heart. It knows exactly what your next level is. Unlock that next level of your life. It's there for you. And when you do it, when you reach that next level, take a moment to look around and celebrate. Celebrate your new level of life and help someone else reach their new level. Share these words with them. Help them reach their next level. Spread the ripple. Have a wonderful and blessed life. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.